these individuals that have this, it is literally ripping through their skin and tissue, and that's what they feel. And if you put a piece of steel wool or just a little wood sliver or a sand spur in your skin, that bothers you until you get it out. So if you have this all under your skin, little granules, it's very annoying.
Doctor, is that why many Morgellons victims report that they feel like there's little microscopic bugs crawling under their skin? One lady, Vera Gallagher in California, actually took a knife and tried to cut her skin open to remove what she thought were bugs under her skin.
Right. I don't know that individual, but that would explain why many people do have this effect, because this material, this nanomaterial, has an affinity for, once it comes out of those organ systems that have the high pH, which is alkaline, so it can make the gel, it goes to the peripheral nervous system, which is just underneath the skin. So it's on the baby nerves, so you're going to feel everything.
Oh, those poor people. So now the other thing is, these people, they have these real symptoms. Mm-hmm. They are scratching. Their skin looks...
They're real symptoms. Let me interrupt you, Kate. Meaning, we have a questionnaire that Dr. Spencer and I use. There's 167 symptoms. And when we get a patient, they're lacking only 3 of those symptoms. But all of the patients that we've seen, they continually have basically all of the symptoms.
And they are, if they go to someone else, though, these poor people, and many people who are going to be watching this tonight may have heard of this, or they may even have some kind of symptoms. They go to a regular GP. What happens to them?
Well, a lot of them get misdiagnosed. A lot of them get thought of that it's all in their mind.
Right.
Some of the ones that had, I'm going to say, good response to the medical professional were ones that went to, like, occupational physicians early on that understood a chemical reaction. And the other thing is that a lot of them are getting treated, for parasites when they don't have parasites. And sometimes these medications work with the individual, or appear to be working, is because these medications are made up of high metals with charges, valence charges, that interact with those transitional metals.
Oh,
so it stops the process. It appears like it's gone or appears like it's working, but it still comes back because no one has stopped the, as I call it, the assembler, wherever it's set up camp and making this continually happen.
When you say assembler, that sounds like a robot or something. It's a good place to take a break.
The correct term in the literature is called nanorobots.
Perfect. We're going to leave that as we go into a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll ask you to explain that to our viewers. Hang on, everybody. Dr. Hildy will be right back.
Getting itchy.
Okay, before we get back to the nanorobot question, our assistant producer asked, have there ever been any cases that you're aware of where infants would have been born with this? Say their mother had it or something. Have you ever dealt with...
I have not worked directly with any, but I do know that there has been some babies born with it. And this was told to me by Shoshana Allison, who's been my immediate person to collect all the information.
Yes.
Shame. Can you imagine being a little baby and dealing with this?
Wait, you've got something on your cheek here.
Well, stop it. Now, tell us about these nanorobots.
Well, nanorobots are either they can be, in this case, more like chemical made materials, which have a specific function. This is very similar to what we've experienced in everyday life as memory foam in our beds. It always goes back into a certain position. With nanorobots, they go into a certain area, They're programmed to go in there, made to go into there, and only do one function or multiple functions. And in this case, make a network that is very similar to a fiber optic network.
So
within the body.
Okay, fiber optics, and you earlier said something about silicone. Now, has there ever been any relationship? I'm sure people would wonder, okay, if somebody had, like, say, silicone breast implants, could that have any bearing on this?
Yes, this could, because it could be a media to grow in. But the individuals that we have tested that had the silicone and the silica crystals, they did not have any breast implants. They did not have any type of prosthetic or anything that could be related to silicone or silica.
So it's got to have come then from the environment. Now, we know of one case for sure where the chemtrail fibers were found, and you could maybe put it together.
That was in two cases, Anna and also Lily.
And Lily, okay. But there are chemtrails everywhere all the time.
Correct, and they could have other chemicals in it. But one key that what I'm calling the smart dust, where smart dust is a very, very small particle at nano size that has a specific function. This looks like, if you look at certain times of the day and you see dust, but it's not dust, it's like an iridescent glitter. Very specifically different than regular household dust.
Yeah.
And this would be in areas where
we have seen that. You know, Doctor, I got one of those 10 million watt spotlights. You go out at night and point it up to the sky, and you can't believe what's floating in the air. I mean, it's really disgusting.
Right, and if you're seeing this iridescence, which looks like just like glitter, that is engineered dust or smart dust type material versus regular household dust, or that does not reflect back.
So here comes the conspiracy theory. If Morgellons is related to chemtrails and it's coming out of the spray from airplanes, is there some grand plan to get this stuff into human beings?
Well, I don't know if it was a plan or anything, but I will say that all of us have been exposed, all animals, all life forms on this planet. It's just a matter of what our genetic makeup is, what we have been chemically poisoned with as an industry, meaning working in industry versus living in certain polluted areas, that is allowing this to manifest more rapidly in individuals than ourselves.
Now, is this considered, like, if you're handling this, you must be very careful. Is it something that could burrow its way in, like contagious?
Well, I don't consider it contagious, because what I have observed is that it has to have a specific chemical composition, and if, like, I'll give you an example, like the ones where they have the lesions, where they have the discolorization of the skin, they have a lot of porphyria in their body, which is from pyrols, and thus chemical composition of pyrols, and I basically know that it's a man-made machine, as I call it.
So it's not going to be likely passed from person to person. They're going to have to get it from
the thing
environment.
is, and why people can, I'm going to call it, be exposed and get it from other individuals, is that those same people may be exposed to the same chemicals that this other person has been exposed to.
Got you.
Yeah, and allows it to be a growth media for these assemblers or whatever is going on.
Gotcha.
I don't care if it's contagious. I mean, we have a picture there, I think it's number 7, of if my own mother had that on her lip, I ain't getting anywhere near her. I'm sorry.
Well, it's very hard. And also, being that there's technology where these, what we call liquid crystals, meaning that they're crystals where they have different DNA, just as I said earlier in my early papers and other shows that I've been on, where they have DNA plasmids. These DNA plasmids can be certain bacterias, sea anemones, shark venom, whatever it may be, okay? But it's where other scientists may not have found it or anything and call it parasites or whatever they may want to call it, because they never were able to get a whole matter of it, meaning a whole organism.
So they're just going to compare it to a parasite, or think that it is a parasite.
Right, but I would like to see some of them, do some DNA or something analysis.
Sure.
Doctors,
now, what's the CDC?
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
we did, but we only got chemicals,
Right,
you know?
right. What does the CDC do, or are they doing anything about this?
I honestly don't know. I know in the very beginning, which was way back in September, October of 2006, they were going to do a study in California. Then they changed it to do it go back to Atlanta, and then do it out of Texas. But to my knowledge, I have not heard anything that they've done anything.
Doctor, how many people, it's okay, how many people are you estimating have this affliction just in the United States?
Early on, when the end of the statistics at the first of the year were over 60,000 in the United States, 100,000 worldwide, with an expansion rate of 1,000 a day globally.
Oh, my word. Now, you said 60,000 in the U.S. Is there any specific part of the country? It seems more likely.
26% is in Southern California. The other majority is in Texas and Florida, but it is spreading. There is a relationship to, I'm going to call it specific cities that have higher incidence.
And you know, a friend of ours who's a chemtrail expert in Los Angeles says the chemtrail spraying there is just out of control. It's amazing. Do we have to do a break? Yeah,
we have to do a break. Yeah. We're going to take just another short break, and when we come back, see if there's something we can do to help people prevent this affliction. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Dr. Hildegard Staninger. Okay, we had another question from the control booth, and I think this is a pretty good one. If these fibers or whatever they are nanorobots are falling from the sky somehow, can they somehow embed themselves in plants? Has there been any evidence so that when we ate something that had landed on, we could get it that way?
Yes, there has been evidence early on from plants, animals, even seafood.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Meaning it's global. It is raining. Once you've seen it, example like in some of the pictures where it has those clear, like hook-like features, you can see it on other living forms of life.
Doctor, I'm becoming very scratchy sitting here tonight. You know, this may be a crazy question, but like at what temperature, maybe this will tell us something, at what temperature do the fibers that protrude from the skin burn at, and do they melt?
We had none of them melt. We had them go as low as 600 degrees Fahrenheit to as high as 1,400 degrees that we tested.
And they don't melt?
No, they don't melt. They break apart, but they're still all together.
Holy cow.
Now, and one of them broke apart, and that's what you got, the golden head. Meaning it was a complete fiber, burned at the end, 1,400 degrees, and it showed the golden head.
I think we should get Spock in here, maybe.
Yeah, really.
No, this is really...
One of my questions, though, is, okay, we've got perhaps this falling from the sky. Obviously, you found that it's in the food we eat, even seafood. How can do we need to build our immune systems? What can help us with this?
What this particular thing that we found is that it never stimulated the immune system. So in the very beginning, it's like... if it doesn't stimulate the immune system because it's so small, the immune system can't send out the white blood cells in the soldiers to fight it, okay?
Gotcha.
So what you have to do is just basically keep your body healthy, and please use good intestinal fiber and Jerusalem artichoke powder and other types of nutrients like what are being developed so that you can maintain good digestive health, because I personally think that, well, I know it's starting in the intestinal tract, thus the first organs that are formed are the GI tract.
So if you can keep that, so if you can keep that cleaned out then and healthy, it doesn't have a chance to grow.
Assemble, correct.
Assemble.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
So
right, and that's with any chemical.
Right.
You've got to remember that 35% at a minimum absorbs back into the intestinal tract.
So keep your digestive system in good health, doctor. Maybe some colon cleanse or yogurt, live cultural yogurt will help.
Correct.
Right.
Running out
hemp
of time.
oil,
Right.
the new hemp fibers, you know.
Perfect.
Doctor, we need to say goodnight to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me on.
What
Good
an
night.
incredible bunch of
When you get
information.
news, will you please let us know and we'll get you back on the show?
Yes, because we are working on countermeasures, and there is hope definitely out there. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you
night.
very much.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Well, if that doesn't creep you out, I don't know what will.
Unbelievable. I knew there was a connection between chemtrails and this Morgellons, and finally, a leading environmental toxicologist has proven it. Good night, everybody, and remember, the truth is out there.